Sir.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon. Hello, sir. Good afternoon.
I am Pakiel Moral. I saw most of you yesterday as well. Today we will do
Oh.
Explorers, primary explorers. Hey, Kim, nice to join as well. How do you do, Kim?
Hmm? Yeah?
Yeah, healthy.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
now today we'll do three of our Friday meetings. We have three times Explorers. One time we will do physics, that's today. So today we will take a look at all our planets and some of the stars. Next week, hopefully, we'll do biology. We're gonna take a look at some plants, how they work, why they grow in the way they do. And the last week, we're gonna do chemistry. We will do a little bit of experiments, and I'll show you experiments which you can do at home as well. Oh, have a nice lunch, everyone. I still have a hamburger. I can't eat it yet. I need to wait till I'm done. Now, let's start with today's meeting. If you have any questions, just unmute your microphone and ask the question. I have my speakers on. I can hear you. I have this little thingy in my ear. It helps as well. Okay, here we go. Wow, it works. Okay, I need to take this one away, make it a little bit smaller. So, for today, Explorers, a journey to the planets and beyond by your teacher Jelmer. Now, today we're going to take a small look at our solar system. The solar system is the sun with all the planets around it. We have the inner rocky planets on which we can stand: Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars. Now, you might know planet Earth, we live on it. These inner planets are nice and warm, they are close to the sun. Behind the inner planets is the asteroid belt. Maybe there has been a planet here, but it got smashed up
I wanna ask.
everywhere now, so it's all made out of rocks.
Sir.
Behind that are the gas giants Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. And the last thing we'll look at today is the Kuiper Belt and the Oort cloud. Now, let's start with number
Sir.
one, our sun. Now, you might see our sun every day. It comes up at 6 in the morning, it goes down at 6 in the evening. The sun is a star. The sun is a really normal star. It's not really big. It's not really small either. There are smaller stars as well. And there are stars which are a million times bigger than our sun. So actually, we have a really normal star. It's a nice and quiet star. It's not an angry, aggressive place. It's easy. So that's the reason why we can live close to this star. If we would have a smaller star, it wouldn't be warm enough to keep us alive. If we would have a bigger star, it would give so much energy that we would burn or we could get killed by a solar flare. Now, the sun is at the center of our solar system. All of the planets go around the sun. The sun is the heaviest. That's why we all go around the sun. It's like when you stand on a trampoline and you're really heavy, everyone next to you will slowly come closer to you. This happens to the sun as well. The earth is also being pulled by the sun, but it also travels in another direction. So it stays in what we call a orbit. It goes around and around the sun and it just doesn't fall into it. If a comet or an asteroid comes close to the sun will pull them in and you'll never see them again. Now, the sun is, give and take, 4.5, maybe 4.6 billion years old. It's a 4 and a 5 and 8 zeros. It's really old. We only are a couple of years old. All of you are between 5 and 15 here at school. I'm 36 already, so you can imagine how old our sun is. Many, many generations before our world, the sun was already there. Before the dinosaurs, before anything that you can imagine, the sun was already there. Now, what happens in the sun? Why is the sun so shiny and so warm? At the sun, we have two elements: hydrogen, which is the most abundant in our universe. Water is also made out of hydrogen and oxygen. And this hydrogen, it gets compressed. They come really close to each other, and all of a sudden, they turn into a new element: helium. Helium is the gas which we use in balloons to let them float. If we breathe in helium, we get a really funny voice. Helium is also a gas. Now, what happens when hydrogen turns into all of a sudden there's a lot of energy. We can do this here on our planet too. We call these an atomic bomb. Now, on the sun, there is every day of the year millions and millions of these atomic bombs. The sun is one big explosion. It keeps on exploding, but the explosion doesn't come here because the sun is really heavy. It pulls it back with gravity. The only thing which can escape from the sun is radiation. Light is a form of radiation. Ultraviolet, sunlight, alpha and beta rays, these all come to our planet. So we can look around here, we can see things. It's all because of the sun. If the sun wasn't there, we would not be here as well. Almost all the energy here on our planet comes from the sun. The sun heats us up every day. Now let's take a look to the closest planet to the sun, Mercury. Now, Mercury is an element and it's also a planet. Mercury is what we use in thermometers. Now, Mercury is the closest to the sun, but it doesn't mean that it's the warmest planet. Mercury has no atmosphere, it has no blanket like we have here with the clouds and the air. So, on Mercury, when the sun shines, it's super warm because nothing stops the sun. It's like putting your head into a campfire.
What
You,
the useful of mercury?
sorry?
What the useful the mercury?
Mercury is used in thermometers. It's like a liquid iron. We use it when we want to measure our temperature. Now, Mercury is also the name of a planet. It's not the same thing which we put in our thermometers. Now, a year on Mercury is only 80 days. In 80 days, it goes around the sun. Mercury is really heavy. It's made of mostly metal, 70%, and only 30% rock. All the gases became so hot on Mercury that they flew away. We cannot live on Mercury. We cannot even be there for a day because when it turns into day, it's so warm that everything will melt. Our skin will melt, our eyes will melt. We cannot live on Mercury. In the night, it is so cold, it's even colder than the coldest place on our planet. Why? Mercury has no blanket, no atmosphere. There is nothing to keep it warm in the night. Now, Mercury, as you might see on the picture, has a lot of craters. It is close to the sun. A lot of comets and asteroids are being pulled towards the sun, and some of them might hit Mercury. Let's take a look at our next planet, Venus. Venus is like our twin sister. Venus is just as big as the Earth. Venus has volcanoes and clouds. Venus is just as heavy on the Earth, but it looks a lot different. Now, Venus is what might happen here on our planet. It's so warm on Venus that all the water evaporated and everything is made out of clouds. So above the ground, everything is cloud. It is so warm here, it's even warmer than on Mercury. Venus, next to our sun, is the warmest rocky place. Now, what happened on Venus? There are lots of volcanoes which spit gases into the
The
atmosphere.
useful.
Sorry?
What the useful of Venus?
Venus, well, we cannot live here. Venus is just a planet. For
So
us,
why it made?
sorry?
Is not useful. Why it made?
Oh, where is Venus made from? Inside the atmosphere is a lot of sulfur, which we can find at volcanoes here, and a lot of hydrogen gas. Now, these two gases are really good in keeping you warm. Venus has so many gases. The blanket around Venus is so thick that none of the heat of Venus can get away anymore. If we don't take good care of our Earth and it becomes warmer here as well, we might look the same as Venus. Nothing can live there anymore. Now, Venus is really special. A day on Venus is longer than a year. Venus turns around so slowly that a day takes longer than a year. So you're older in years, but younger in days. So all year long, you will look at the sun. It doesn't turn into night. Humans cannot live on Venus, but we have sent some robots. The first to send a robot to another planet were the Russians. The Russians in the 1970s already sent robots to Venus. They could not live here for a long while because the conditions on Venus are not good for a robot. It's so warm, everything will melt. You're in here. So we as humans cannot go here, but we can send robots. Now, let's take a look at the next planet. Our beautiful planet Earth. Our home. We live here. All the animals live here. The plants live here. And we all live together. This is the only place that we know of where we can live. So we need to take good care of our Earth. Without our Earth, we don't have.
Why there is right? We have many moons.
Yes, I will explain it later. Yeah. Now, Earth is. Yeah, I'm not there yet. I'm at the Goldilocks zone. Yeah. Now, Earth is in what we call the Goldilocks zone. It is in a place close enough to the sun to have water, but it's not so close that all the water will evaporate, that it turns into cloud. It's also not too far away. The water is liquid, it doesn't turn into ice. So we know until now that this is the only place in the universe where we can find liquid water. Now, why is there no liquid water on the moon? It's on the same place, right? It's right next to us. Why can't we live on the moon? The moon is a lot lighter than the Earth. The Earth has a thick iron and nickel core, which makes a lot of gravity. Water on the moon would just flow into space. The gravity there is not strong enough. A day on planet Earth is almost 24 hours, just a little bit less. A year on planet Earth is 365 and a quarter day. Why a quarter day? Every year we an active day. Exactly. Now, what does the moon for us? The moon makes the tide. When the moon pulled a little bit of the moon, we call this tide. When the moon is out of the planet, we have low tide. Now, actually, we have many moons. There are many really small things flying around the Earth. This is the moon. We call our Earth has many little moons made out of iron and plastic and a computer. And we use these satellites for our mobile phones, for the internet, for TV. We made a lot of artificial moons. Now, let's take a look at another planet. Planet Mars, the red planet. Why is Mars so red? On Mars, there is a lot of iron, just as on planet Earth. But all the oxygen which we breathe here reacted with the iron. It's what we call rust. Now, as you can see, Mars has a North Pole with ice and a South Pole with ice. There is water on Mars, but it's all frozen. Mars is not so heavy than our Earth, so it cannot keep a atmosphere as well. Hello, who is drawing on the screen, by the way? Could you please stop that? We are doing a lesson. Now, was there life on Mars? We don't know yet. We have only sent some robots, and the robots could see that there has been water flowing on Mars. So maybe there were rivers on Mars. Maybe there has been life there, but we didn't find it yet. Maybe we can live on planet Mars in many, many millions of years. If the Earth becomes too warm, Mars will become a little bit warmer as well, and maybe we can live there again. Mars has a really cool feature. Mars has the biggest volcano known to us. It is more than 2 times as big as Mount Everest. It is so big that when you stand next to this volcano, you cannot even see the top of the volcano. So, can you imagine the biggest mountain on our planet? It's just a really small thing next to Mars. Now, Mars has volcanoes. but they're not active anymore, like here on planet Earth. Mars also has its own Grand Canyon. It is just as big as the entire United States. It is 1/3 of the entire circumference of Mars. It's the biggest crack I've seen on the planet so far. So maybe Mars will become our home. Maybe not. Maybe we don't take good care of our world and we won't have a home anymore. Okay, seen some questions. How to go there? No, not that way.
Sir, I have a question about Mars.
Yes.
Is Mars have a gravity?
Yes, Mars has gravity as well. Question from
Why is it have a gravity?
gravity. Everything which has weight, like you and me, everything has gravity. If you have a weight, if you are a couple of kilograms, you already have gravity. So something which is really, really heavy has a lot of gravity, like the sun has a lot of gravity.
Is Mars is very hot?
No, Mars is colder than our planet. During the day, it's around 10 degrees, and during the night, it's minus 50. So it's just as cold as at Greenland or in Russia or on some places of Antarctica.
Sir, in Kutub and Mars, who is very colder?
Mars is colder than the Earth. The Earth is a little bit warmer than Mars.
But Kutub is cool too.
Sorry?
Kutub, I don't know what is in the English. It is cool too. I Earth in the top and in the di bawah.
On the top of the mountain, yes, it can be a little bit colder, like here on planet Earth. Oh, you mean the North and South Pole? Yes. The North and South Pole are just as cold as here on planet Earth.
And Padang. Pa,
Yeah.
I have a question about Mars. Why
Yes.
does Mars has yellow clouds?
On Mars, there's a lot of dust, and Mars has a little bit of wind. So from time to time, just a little bit of wind will let all the dust flow everywhere. So what you see, clouds full of dust.
That is gone.
It is like what you see. It's what you see close to deserts here on planet Earth.
I have a question.
Wind, all dust will go into the air.
I have a question. Is there question?
Okay, can I continue?
I have a question.
Yes.
Is Mars gonna be our new home?
Yeah, maybe we can live on Mars inside of a space pod, inside of a building. We could live on Mars.
What is there life is Earth?
We don't. Only things which we send to Mars are a bunch of robots. Maybe there has been life, but we don't know it yet.
Is there planet that is gone?
Yeah, there are many planets gone. Many planets, when the Earth was made, maybe there were like 40 or 50 planets. Some planets hit each other.
What the name? What the name?
We were not here as humans yet, so we don't know. We are just looking at the stars for a couple of hundred years. For that, we don't know. We are just on the brink of discovery.
Where is Pluto?
Pluto is all the way in the end, yep, behind the other planets. Okay, I will continue with the next planet, okay?
Jamal,
Yeah,
I have question about Venus.
yes, go ahead.
Is Venus is hot?
Yes, Venus is the warmest planet.
Okay.
It's so warm there that we cannot live there.
So I wanna ask, why does a yellow one? Why does a red one? What does the white, brown, and white blonde? Why?
Sorry.
Why there so many pictures of Jupiter?
Yes, I will explain it, but I need to start to chat first, okay? Now,
Okay.
this is the gas giant Jupiter. On the top, the biggest picture is the picture of Jupiter itself. You see that it has many lines on it. Jupiter has many, many storms. They go around the planet. Jupiter is actually a really, really, really tiny star. It is not heavy enough to become a star. So around Jupiter, you'll find many moons. And if Jupiter was a star, these moons will turn into planets. Jupiter is 1/100th of the size of the Sun. So the Sun is 100 times bigger. Now, if we look at other stars, we only have one star in our solar system, but many, many other stars are with three or with four stars.
For the more question,
Yes.
the 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 article said an ocean world, a world of volcanoes. The question.
Yes. I am not there yet. I'm still at the top here. Okay. So if you wait, I will explain it. Okay. Now, for the Jupiter to go around the Sun, it takes 12 years. It is much and much further away than the Earth. So it takes a long, long while for Jupiter to go around the Sun. It's like when you go around a building and it's a really big building, it takes a long while to go around it. If you make the building even bigger, it takes you even longer to go around it. Now, as you might see in the middle, Jupiter has a red spot. This red spot is just as big as our planet. Planet Earth can fit around it, can fit inside it. This is a gigantic hurricane, a storm, a typhoon on Jupiter. How many moons does Jupiter have? As far as we know, Jupiter has 79 moons. Some are quite big, bigger than our
What?
own moon, and
Sorry.
some are a lot smaller
Why there is so many moon?
because Jupiter is really big, so it can have more moons.
But I see just one moon.
Yes, because many of them are really small. If we would put all of them here on this picture, the whole field would be full with moons, and I cannot
But
explain anything anymore.
I can see the moon of Jupiter.
Yes, with a telescope, you can see four moons of Jupiter, the four inside moons. The other ones, you need a really big telescope for it, or you even need to be in space to be able to see them. Okay, Jupiter is our vacuum cleaner. If you see this picture in the middle, you see that a big comet is hitting Jupiter, a big ball of fire in the bottom of Jupiter. Now, Jupiter is really heavy, just as the Sun, and it pulls in many comets and asteroids which are flying around. So, Jupiter helps us a lot by cleaning up everything like a vacuum cleaner. It slurps in the big comet and you'll never see it again. Jupiter is 99% made out of gas, and in the middle is a really small, rocky, maybe metallic core. But we cannot go here because we will die on the way. Jupiter is really, really dangerous for us to go to. Now, an ocean world, a world of volcanoes. I've put two pictures on the bottom here. The first picture you see is the moon we call Europa. Europa is like our North Pole. It is completely covered in ice. But underneath the ice is an ocean. You can swim under the ice of Europa. Maybe there are, there are plants there. Now, NASA, the American Space Agency, is sending a robot to go out.
Why the
It's really easy. Yes. The other picture on the right side is the moon Io. Io made a couple of other moons and maybe it's moon is full of volcanoes. Do you think that the Earth has many volcanoes? Io is completely made out of volcanoes. They're all day long, and the moon, little basketball which you play outside, and it's continuously being squeezed and squeezed. Many places here you can find lava flowing up. Let's take a look at the next planet, the most beautiful planet we have, Saturn. Saturn is a little bit yellow. It's a beautiful thing. It has rings around, many rings, by the way, not only one, but two. There are hundreds and hundreds of rings. Some are a little bit thicker and some are a little bit thinner. Now, these rings, we cannot stand on them. They are made out of ice. Around Saturn, they spray out a little bit of a little bit of ice. All of this goes in orbit to build the ring. So if we come closer to Saturn, we will see are made out of many small particles of ice, like clouds, like smoke, and it's just flowing around Saturn. It takes Saturn almost 30 years to do something. But Saturn is really light. If we would put it here in water, Saturn would float on water. More moons. Every little inside ring a moon. Moons, 90 moons, and in these rings, every little rock inside the ring is a moon. So Saturn might have millions of
pa?
moons, and we can't count them. Yes,
What is the green planet?
it's a moon.
What is the green planet?
I am trying to explain.
Okay.
The only moon with an atmosphere, just as
Sir, is Saturn can a human live?
Saturn is made out of gas. We cannot.
Um,
Titan is made from things that we can earth as well.
Miss,
Methane. Yeah.
Mister, can Saturn a human live?
No, Saturn is made out of gas. It's made from clouds. You
Then
cannot
why God made Saturn if it's not useful?
because just there. We did not make Saturn. Put
No. Why God made Saturn if it's not useful?
there many rocks on our planet. Rock useful? No, it's still there. Useful for us. Maybe it's useful.
I want ask to.
Now, let's continue with Titan. Titan has a thick atmosphere, and we can find Titan, which we can find here on planet Earth as well. Titan has a lot of methane gas, which you make as well.
Is
When you
this
eat
Saturn
something,
is warm?
uh,
It's cold.
continue.
Is this Saturn is warm or cold? Sir,
What do you mean?
sir, my connection is low because I cannot hear you.
Oh, I'm waiting for someone because someone tries to question.
Pajama. How
Yes.
many layers of rings are on Saturn? I have a question. What inside of Saturn?
Gas, like our oxygen in planet Earth, has here as well. Can
Pajama,
I?
I wanna ask.
Yes.
How many layers of rings are on Saturn?
I hear you. Be quiet halfway.
How many layers of rings are on Saturn?
As we can see with our telescopes, we can count around 20 rings around Saturn. But some of them are 100.
Pajama? Pajama?
Yeah, I'm trying to explain. Some of the rings are 100 meters wide. Some of the rings are 200 kilometers.
Pajama?
Some of them are 1,000 kilometers wide. So some of them
Pajama?
see them really well. Some of them we cannot.
Pajama?
Yes.
When we're gonna finish?
Sorry.
When we're gonna finish?
Try to let's continue time. Now, Titan you can find as well. We we burn sadly fill. Ever no gas oil here. Titan is go here, but it to go here. Okay, let's take a look at the next planet, Uranus. Now, Uranus is a planet which is on its planet.
It's so
Uranus is
beautiful.
on its side, also around the sun. The picture that you see, the
That
light blue
is
picture,
beautiful.
what's your question?
Um, why the Uranus is more beautiful than
Yes, I'll try to explain it, okay? Now, it's on its side. So the south pole of Europe and the north pole always sees the sun. It's never ever gonna be night there. And on the south pole, it's never gonna be light. It always looks the same way to us. The first picture you see is a real picture taken by the spacecraft Voyager. The bigger picture that you see is taken by a telescope which looks at other things. It does not see the light that we see, but it looks at radiation. And you can see that Uranus has a lot of different colors. Just as Jupiter, it has a lot of wind and it makes different layers on the planet. Uranus also has a ring, but this ring is a lot thinner than the rings of Saturn. For Uranus, it takes 84 years to go around the
what
sun.
is
So
beautiful.
if you are 84, you would be only 1 year on Uranus. It's so far away that it takes so long to go around the sun. It's really cold in Uranus. It's also made out of gas. We cannot be here. We cannot stand on it. We will just fall straight through it and we'll be on the other side of the planet.
But can we swim there?
Swim? No, there is no water. There is only gas. There's
But the
nothing else there.
color is what? It's look like a water.
Yeah, it looks like a water. A wall is white and a wall also looks like a cloud, but they're not the same. They just have the same color. Okay, let's go to the last planet, Neptune, the coldest planet in our solar system. Neptune is really cold and blue. It has the strongest winds in our solar system, until 1500 kilometers per hour. That's 5 times stronger than the biggest hurricane here on our planet. For Neptune to go 165 years. It is so far away, so cold, only one spacecraft. We take pictures and we don't.
Jen, why the planet like blue? Is there any water? Like
No, it doesn't mean that there's any water. Things have a certain color because they reflect a certain color. And the other you can see, it's like when I hair, you absorb light, and I don't see any black hair. Okay? Is Neptune the last planet? Officially, it's a planet. But why not? Why didn't we call Pluto anymore? Pluto was the first thing that we found behind Neptune in 1918, I think. Now we have more than 50 things just as behind filled with really big, call them dwarf planets. Between Mars and Jupiter is also really in the asteroid belt. There is Ceres, which is almost just as big as our moon. Now, we don't call this a planet anymore because it's not the only thing which is around there. So Ceres is just one of the many asteroids, and Pluto is just one of the many objects. Let's take a look at how this works. Now, why is Pluto not a planet anymore? As you can see here, Pluto is part of what we call the Kuiper belt. Mr. Kuiper was a Dutch astrophysicist which found many things outside of Neptune's orbit. So Neptune is still a planet because it has its own place, but Pluto shares the place with millions and millions of icy objects. They might have some rocks, they might have some ice, maybe even a little bit of iron. But Pluto is just many, many, many things which are in the Kuiper belt. Now, the asteroid belt is mostly made out of rock. It is between Mars and Jupiter. The Kuiper belt is mostly made out of ice. Asteroids and comets come from the Kuiper belt. They get flung towards our sun. The sun them up a little bit, and we see the night sky as a beautiful through the. Sometimes you can see them with your eye. Sometimes they are there for a couple of days. When I was younger, around 10 years old, we had a big comet which we could see for almost 2 weeks. It was bigger than the moon and it looked really cool. At least I thought it was really cool as a kid. Now, as you see in the bottom picture, the really white one is the Kuiper belt. And outside the Kuiper belt, there is what we call a Oort cloud. The Oort cloud is the last place where the sun still has its gravity. Outside of the Oort cloud, we are in interstellar space. We are not part of the solar system anymore. We are part of something bigger, our Milky Way.
You're
The
showing more.
first satellite which we send away is not even past the Oort cloud. It is still in the Kuiper belt and it took 40 years to get there. So if we want to go to another star, it takes us so long we can never visit it. Okay, I have one more screen. Whoop. The Milky Way beyond. What is there when we are in the solar system? What other things? Let's do this. Here we see our planet further away. You see, yes, yes,
Pajama
yes.
calling.
Okay, no problem. Nice
Okay,
ones.
okay, thank you.
Yes, no problem. Earth, small ring. That's not the Earth becomes smaller and smaller, smaller, further and further. See that the sun, orbits of Venus, Earth, and you see that for a long there is nothing. It takes a while, and then we can see Jupiter's orbit, Saturn's orbit, Uranus' orbit, and Neptune's orbit. We can't even see the sun anymore. It's so tiny. Now, this ring which you see here is what we call the Oort cloud. Now we're far away from the sun. Now, the sun is part of the Milky Way. We are inside of a galaxy, a collection of billions and billions and billions of stars. All together, we swirl around like a big cloud. All these little dots you see in the cloud, all of them are actually stars. And we are in the Milky Way galaxy. This is what we see in the night, the big band of stars. Now, there is not only one galaxy, as you can see, there are many, many, many other galaxies. Not a there are more galaxies than there are stars in our solar system, in our own galaxy. There are billions and billions of other galaxies. Now, all together, they make what we call the universe. We can only see what gives light. Some things are so that are light ever. Things that you see here are all galaxies. And together, this makes our universe. Now, maybe there are other universes. We don't know. Maybe there are billions of universes. We don't know because we can't see them. But we on our planet are just a really small, tiny dot in an ocean of dots. We are like a piece of sand on the beach. And our beach is what we call the beach here. And it's just one of the beaches on the planet. And there are many other planets, so there are many other beaches. So we are a really tiny speck in the gigantic universe. Okay, are there any questions? Let's take a look. I'm gonna close this one. Stop screen sharing. Hello everyone, it's me.
I have a question.
Yes. Please put your speaker a little bit softer. Just hurting everyone's ears.
We step out in the Pluto.
Yes, we can be on Pluto. Pluto is made out of rock and ice, but it takes us really long to go there. So yes, we can stand on Pluto.
Is there someone who stepped in?
No, the humans have only been to two places: planet Earth and the Moon. We have Mars, sent robots to Mercury, robots to Venus. We have sent satellites which fly around Jupiter and Saturn,
Why
but
not
we've never been there yet because
give
it's too far away.
a robot to the Pluto?
If we want to go to Pluto, it takes around 5 years with a spacecraft. So you need to sit inside of a space shuttle for 25 years. To go to Jupiter is around 8 years. Go to Mars can take us around 300 days. Now, you can see is some which all have oceans, but the oceans are underneath the ice. So maybe we can in there, jump in. It's like if you're on a North Hemisphere, so on really cold to swim, and there's a layer of ice. You have any? Sorry?
Can we swim?
Too cold at Pluto, everything is turned into
I
ice.
want, I want to ask, is our planet is circle?
Sorry? I did not hear you well.
Is our planet is circle?
Yes, our planet is almost perfectly round. It is like a circle, but because it turns around, it's a little bit flatter. So around the equator, like here in Bali, the Earth is a little bit thicker, and on the North and South Pole, the Earth is a little bit thinner. It's like a ball, and we squeezed it just a little bit. It's not much different, but we can measure it. So the gravity here in Indonesia is stronger than the gravity on the North Pole because there is more land underneath us here than there is on the North Pole. So we're not a perfect sphere, but it comes really close. Anyone else has a question?
Can we eat at
Sorry? Can we?
Can we eat at Pluto?
Yes, you can eat if you want. You need to have a spaceship, go there for a long while, but you need to take your own sandwiches. There is no shop there, so you need to bring your own food. But there are no plants growing there, it's too cold.
How the astronaut eat? But the astronaut has the element. How
Yes.
to eat?
Now, this is a nice question. Okay, Giraffa and Desta, you can type your question, okay? I'll try to answer this question first. Now, if we go outside into space, we need to wear the big spacesuit because there is no pressure in outer space, and our eyes and our blood will just want to go everywhere. So we need a spacesuit. But inside of our spaceship, we don't have to wear a suit. We just wear our normal clothes. But if we go outside into space, we need to wear different clothes. So if you look at the International Space Station, you see that all of them don't wear a helmet. They are just in their normal clothes. But if they want to go outside, yes, then you need to wear a helmet and a spacesuit. Where is the Andromeda? Okay, nice question. Now, if we look at our Milky Way is actually made out of more smaller Milky Ways. Some other galaxies are inside as well. Now, Andromeda is the closest galaxy to us. We can actually see it with a small telescope. You can see that it's a small disk. We call it M31. It's the first galaxy which we discovered. Now, what will happen in a couple of billion years? Andromeda is actually coming closer to us. So, if we would survive the sun, we could actually see that the Andromeda galaxy would come closer, closer, and closer to us, and we would become one galaxy. So, we will have much and much more stars. Yes, Miss Me.
Ah, okay. I just wanna ask, were they life before Earth?
Sorry, can you repeat your question?
Were they life before Earth?
Maybe. Maybe there was life before planet Earth, but we haven't found it yet. Maybe there is life on many other planets. We already found planets around other stars. Maybe there is life there. Maybe we are the only ones. But the universe is so big. It takes us around 25 1,000 years to go to the next star. 25,000 years ago, we were still living in caves.
Okay. By number, how long? How long do we? How long does it take to go around the galaxy?
Around the galaxy?
Yes.
Around the galaxy, our sun takes 600 million years to go around the galaxy.
Oh my!
Yeah, that's a lot, huh? We are just one of many suns. Okay, Christia.
How the astronauts speak? Is there no air in the space?
Yeah. Inside of the spacesuit, you have air because you can breathe inside your spacesuit. Inside of the space shuttle, the spaceship has also air because we can breathe there. But if we go without a suit into space, there is no way that we can speak. There is nothing which can let our voice travel on it. So if you are in space, you cannot hear another spaceship because there is nothing which transports the sound. You can only hear things when you are in a gas. We here are in a gas, we are in oxygen. And oxygen lets our sound travel through it. If we take all the air away here, the sound cannot travel. There's no thing which the sound can give its information on.
Elmer,
Yes.
what happens if we go to the black hole?
Now, a black hole is a place with a lot of gravity. It is so heavy that even light cannot get away. So it looks really black. Now, what happens if we go there? We literally get pulled apart. My hand, if I put my hand closer to it, all of the parts, my fingernail, everything becomes longer, and the black hole just eats me like a vacuum cleaner. So we cannot go there yet. Maybe we find something in the future on how we can go there. But black holes is something which is super, super, super duper heavy.
Elmer,
Yes.
Ian Dasta has a question.
Okay, go ahead.
Where is the Andromeda? I heard in the solar system, in space, there's like this place called the Andromeda. Yeah.
No, Andromeda system is a galaxy, just as our Milky Way, and it is outside of our galaxy. It's the closest galaxy to us. Now, there are stars which also have the name Andromeda, but the Andromeda galaxy is outside of our galaxy.
Okay, thank you, Elmer.
No problem. Okay, students, it's 2 o'clock. It's the end of the lesson. Next week we have another lesson about explorers, and we're gonna take a look at plants. So please join the lesson with me next week again. Have a nice day, everyone. Don't forget to wear your mask.
Thank you, Elmer. Thank you.
Wash your hands. Stay healthy. See you again next week.
Yay! Bye. See you next week.
Take care, everyone.